Now let's take a look at more stories today, starting with the EFCC that says its fight against corruption will be done in a manner that would stimulate economic growth and not lead to unnecessary job losses, especially in companies undergoing investigation. EFCC Chairman, that's Ola Olukoyede, made the comment at a meeting with civil society organizations. Our correspondent Ferdinand Duroa reports.
This meeting is at the instance of the EFCC chairman to appreciate civil society organizations for their assistance in the fight against corruption and to canvass more partnerships. The EFCC chair says more than 70% of the petitions currently being investigated were submitted by CSOs. Olukoyede says Nigeria must align its battles against corruption with its national economic development. He cites an instance of the Halliburton scandal and Nigeria's inability to leverage on justice awarded.
The fraud was perpetrated in Nigeria. The personnel were here. The discoveries was made here. We deployed our resources and all of that to carry out the investigation. Now the report was given to FBI to investigate more and to invite or incorporate by virtue of the provision of the FCPA Act. As I'm talking to you, I got an update last week that the American government had raked in over $3 billion in terms of fine and penalties from that case. Not one farthing, not one dime came to Nigeria. So when you suppose our position with yes, what have we gained actually as a nation?
The EFCC chairman is also promising to refocus the commission's mandate by using the anti-corruption fight to create jobs, employment and improve social services. According to him, activities like freezing of accounts of companies under investigation is often counterproductive and could have negative impact by leading to unemployment. The commission revealed that as of 2018, over 1 trillion naira funds of persons and companies being investigated were frozen in various banks, leading to the collapse of some company operations.
Youths are jobless all over the place. And I'm a corruption fighter using government money, public money to fight corruption. And at the same time, I'll use the instrumentality of my operations to shut down businesses. We are changing away from that completely. Now, don't let us misconstrue my mindset or the mindset of the management under this material. We are not, if we discover companies that are deliberately set up to destroy our economy, to exploit us, we are going to shut it down.
The commission further promised to be professional and sophisticated in its operations by reviewing guidelines for arrest, detention and bail of suspects and applying caution to the indiscriminate marking of properties under investigation. Ferdinand Duroha, Arise News.
Now for a conversation on the EFCC's resort to reposition the commission, we're now being joined by Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale. Good to have you, Mr. Sobowale. Welcome to Newsday.
Great to see you.
Great. So are you pleased with the direction which the Anti-Graft Commission is heading based on this?
Very pleased, because it's pragmatic, it's realistic. And he has not been shy in admitting that they have not functioned as properly as they were expected to. To me, if I give a summation of all what he said, he's trying to say now that people brought before EFCC for investigation will be presumed innocent until found otherwise. Unlike the present situation where he said stigmatization is the vogue. I know sometimes we discuss the media trial.
Yes.
They say, no, Lagbaja has done this. You see, the stigma alone, before the investigation, before any trial, has ruined that society or individual. He is saying that he will stop that. And he has said many things that he said he will stop. The very important one to me is that he will help in providing employment, and at the same time, he will try to improve the economy. And how will they do it? That they will not close companies which employ Nigerians because of investigation. That they will go on with that aspect of the funds mismanaged and let the companies breathe, as it were, so that people will have employment. I doff my hat to him for that. And in addition to that, you see, we spoke of media trial. I think this man, eventually, when he was being screened, and he was talking of corruption, he almost mentioned the president of the Senate. And the president said, please don't use me as an example.
I remember.
So they said he had to quickly rephrase himself when he saw the mood in the Senate. He has an uphill task there. Because it's open knowledge that many of former high officials of the land, don't let me mention offices, are in the Senate. And you see, I tremble for this man, or now he will find the courage to really take them on, hands down. But he has said the God that has put him there will help him. I say amen to that. And again, he has made one admission or confession that he's happy with the way the civil society organizations are functioning, that they are the people giving them information. I'm very happy with that. Because the civil society organizations, at times, some people think they are irritants. You get me? They criticize government too high. But now for an EFCC man to admit that they are doing something, I doff my hat to them. And they should be encouraged and given protection. The same thing with whistleblowers. His predecessor in office said that they will give maximum protection to whistleblowers. Because if you write a petition against a high official, against somebody very powerful in society, give information to the police or to FCC, and you are left on your own, that will be a disincentive for people to come up. But you see, the EFCC, I have always been interested in the EFCC. And the fact that it's still there, in spite of the mishaps that have happened to successive leaders there, it still means government still has the intention of lessening corruption. You see, you cannot read, it's only in the cemetery or utopia. People will always try to bend the rule across the line. But the fact that the EFCC is there is a deterrence. It's a deterrence which should be encouraged. And I'm happy on the note that he has struck. And I think government will give him the cooperation so that he can succeed.
Now, government will give him the cooperation. I'm looking at the practicality of this. So, I mean, it's not the first time we've seen enthusiasm. You know, we know the beginning of an administration, people come in with the excitement and enthusiasm and passion to want to ensure that they tackle all of their goals. But when you look at some of the policies, for example, one that you highlighted, which will be the end of freezing of company accounts that are being investigated, you look at an end to marking property as well that's under investigation. Given the nuances that we understand from Nigeria, how practical do you think some of these things will be to execute?
What things?
Not freezing company accounts, for example, that are being investigated.
Well, that's what you just said.
My question to you, Mr. Sobowale, is it practical? Will it be effective? Will companies use this as an opportunity to continue doing business that they may feel is risky business because they know that their doors will not be shut?
Wait, he has even clarified. He said the fact that they will not close companies does not mean that companies that are found to be fraudulent or frivolously so will not be shut down. You get me now? So he has given, it's not the blanket situation. That is his intention. You can only mark a man at the outset of a project with his intention. Then you monitor if he delivers or not. So let's give him a chance. They have said they will do it, and hopefully you will have the enabling environment or the wherewithal by the government to do it. But I mentioned the major obstacle, I'm not talking about that, of the eminent people in the legislature, former governors and all that. And I think he has the mettle to take them on, although I don't want to be in his shoes. Do you get me? But he has taken the challenge. He's a lawyer. He's been there before. He's the chief of staff. So he knows the hurdles in this way. But I am happy with him for saying that media trial, stigmatization, arrest, frivolous arrests and things like that will come to an end. I can only add that the EFCC should do diligent prosecution of cases before it. Because you have seen cases many times in the media, 30, 40 charges. If you take pains to look through them, they are mostly repetitive.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, the judge will just, boringly throw away the case because they said they did not prosecute diligently. People have been insinuating that maybe collaboration between EFCC and the police is not doing diligent prosecution. But he is a lawyer. He has come with open hand. He knows the system. What he's trying to say is that he will sanitize the system about doing a SWOT analysis, so they deliver on their manufacture, on the objective as a final.
Mr. Sobowale, I'm also curious, if everything goes as planned and, they turn this new leaf and it goes smoothly, great. But what about for the cases or people, individuals or companies that have already been victims of how things have been going on with the EFCC? Would you like to see a case where you have a review of such instances to, do due diligence to such?
That's what I said. He must have done a SWOT analysis. Mm-hmm. That's strategic planning. Your strengths and weaknesses internally, then opportunities and threats outside. That's the sum total of what he is saying. He has announced their shortcomings for. You get me now? Media trial, and other things that he has said. But now, he knows where the issue hurts in terms of helping them to deliver on their mandate. And I think he should be given a chance.
And, earlier you touched on cases involving politicians and public figures.
Politicians.
Public figures. Let's call them public figures. People who at some point occupied offices, public office, whatever we want to call them. People in high places. Let's call them that. There are a number of people in high places. And since we're not using names, I'll stick with your theme on that, who are outside of the borders. And there was a mention of, EFCC getting to a stage where they don't need to wait for international courts to try their cases. Do you think, how important do you think it is for some of these cases, high-profile cases, for example, in London, to be brought back to Nigeria as part of the EFCC's current agenda?
Well, it depends on who you are chasing.
Mr. Sobowale, let's not play this game.
No, it's not a game. It depends on if the person you are chasing from Nigeria is in the UK, you pursue him to the UK. If it is in the US, you respect the laws of those lands. People have been extradited before. Some people are stuck there because they have immense money to fight the system. Even the Interpol, the Metropolitan Police, when they got involved with Nigerians, these people who are normally incorruptible, some of them got into corruption crisis over there. You get me? So the EFCC, like he said FBI over the Ali Botting case. FBI made about substantial amount of money from the fines, the penalties, and that Nigeria did not make a penny. So he has a broad global outlook. And then crime. Crime is international. Especially you have people who have hard currency. Yeah, financial crimes, who have homes in Dubai and London, Paris, and all that.
No, you want to list all the countries.
International law. You see, he has to work with Interpol. Yeah. But not working nice to him. And then with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. You see, I think African Security Services, criminal investigation divisions of the various African, they have their own international network. So we'll work with that. And then we forgot something. He is saying that, okay, there was he received
very quickly, Mr. Sobowale, we actually have 20 seconds. Yeah.
Internal Revenue Service. They will partner with them, so they share data. You get me? Or now, Internal Revenue can revenue.
I'm sure we'll have opportunity to probably still dive into this during the newspaper review, probably. Okay. But we'd like to thank you for your insight as always.